Welcome to Picks and Parlays here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter. Unsurprisingly, it's Nick Geber. That's Nickgeber. Today is Monday, December 16th, 2019. I'd like to wish everybody a very happy National Thai Sports Day. If you're in Thailand, woo, those sports. Wicked fun. Speaking of wicked fun sports, we're going to talk a little NBA, little college basketball, college football bowls, and of course, we have to talk National Football League opening line reports. I'll be doing that one with Craig El Guapo Trapp. We'll do some college basketball and football with Higgy Smalls, Sean Higgs. And finally, Tony T, we're going to cover some NBA, more specifically the Mavs at Bucks, Spurs at Rockets, Bills at Thunder, Cavs at Raptors, and whatever else comes to mind. Look, love to have you with us here on the show. Here's how it works. We broadcast live. We give you free picks. Life is good. Everyone's happy. But if you want to participate in the show, we'd love to hear from you. And the way you do that is go onto our social media page, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, find the comment section, fill it out. We'll see it here in the studio, and Robbie will put it up on the screen, and I will do my best to comment on it, provided it is not too rude. Some rude is allowed, too rude definitely not allowed. You can also find us, hashtag Parlay Radio. That's where we will be, and we would absolutely love to hear from you. Look, we're going to give a lot of free picks for you on this show. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. on the East, 1 p.m. on the West, live on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, and also streaming live throughout the day. When you're ready to go up a notch and go with our expert picks, we have a very special gift for you for the holidays. 15% off everything on the site, everything on picksandparlays.net, all of our handicappers. Any one of our 35 experts, pick up their expert analyzed picks, 15% off. Use promo code GIFT. That's promo code GIFT. And if you feel like you want to send me a lavish gift, well, all you have to do is fill out the comment section, and I'll tell you where to send the money. Okay, that's going to do this segment. We're going to step aside, take a quick break. We're going to warm Sean Higgy Smalls Higgs up as we get ready to talk a little college basketball, college football here on Picks and Parlays. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Twitter me, at Nick Geber. Can you do that? Is that something you can do to someone? Twitter someone? Ooh, I know our president. He Twitters a lot of people, and most people don't appreciate it, by the way. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Time to get real with some picks as we get into this crazy busy holiday season. Absolutely nuts. Let's bring in my good friend, international rap artist and star, a man who is not dead. I can promise you that. Our one is very much living. Sean Higgy Smalls Higgs. All right, Higgs. Oh, you're ready? Are you ready for the holidays, Higgs?
Pretty much, yeah. I think we're all set. We're all set. I got everything done we're supposed to get done. And now it's just, it's a crazy time of week because my wife does a lot of baking. People love her cookies. So it's hectic for me because I'm always like trying to get the bowls clean so we get the next batch rolling, and there's cookie tins all over the place. So try not to eat them all. You know, it's like
Look,
three
I'm
for
going to
me,
put
one
this,
for somebody else.
Higgy, I'm going to put this, and I'm going to put it this way, not too indelicately, let me just say, but if you throw out the damn Oreo cheesecake again, I'm going to come over there, and I'm going to go psycho on your you-know-what. You know what I mean?
That the Oreo cheesecake was insane, Nick. It was crazy.
I bet it was. Well, I'll tell you what is insane, because, you cook them up in a bowl, and we have a couple of bowls to talk about today. Oh, I know.
Yes, we do.
It's a terrible segue. But these bowls today, well, they're not exactly the delicious ones, and you may be better off with the Yoshinoya beef bowl than the Bahamas bowl, or the Boca Raton bowl, or the Preparation H hemorrhoid bowl. But let's talk about it, shall we? Let's start with the Bahamas bowl, where the Buffalo Bulls... I love this one. Though, hey, NFL, copyright infringement, all right? The Buffalo Bulls will be playing the Charlotte 49ers at the Bahamas Bowl. And people that probably didn't even know these two teams existed. Buffalo, 7-5, 7-5 against the spread. Late bloomers. The offense didn't really wake up until the second half of the season. Mind you, neither did I. Will be a ground game. Quarterback Kyle Vantries and Matt Myers completed a big sum total of 54.4% of all passes. Whew, that's impressive. The total has gone over in the last 5. And as for the 49ers, 7-5, 6-6 against the spread. They ended the season strong with a big 5-game winning streak. They have a big run game that will run into an excellent Bulls defense. The favorite here, the Bulls, 6.5-point favorites, total 58. I don't know why I would watch this game or want to be remotely interested in it unless I could make some money. So, Higgy, make me some money on this, please.
That's what the bowl's about. You got, 38 bowls, and probably a dozen are watchable. But, it's the Makers Wanted Bowl. It used to be the Popeyes Bowl back in the day when it first came out. And that, at least, I don't even know what Makers is. They apparently, I don't even know. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this line opens. Yeah, I can just keep Popeyes. Everybody knows Popeyes chicken.
Hey, it's the
so
shiznit.
open at 4.5.
Popeyes
steamed
chicken
up to 6.5. I'll tell you what. I had the sandwich. As you consume, look at the size of me. I'm going to try the sandwich. It's not better than Chick-fil-A. People are insane. It's a nice piece of chicken, but flavor-wise, it does not compete.
It's not Taylor ham, baby.
You like the Taylor ham? New Jersey, listen, it's Taylor ham up north, it's pork roll in the south. So the Taylor ham, it's Taylor ham.
All right, make me some
Taylor
money.
Taylor ham's a name brand.
Come on.
Yeah. You guys don't even have Taylor ham in Vegas. You can't even find it out there.
Probably
you don't have it.
No, we don't, but we do have the Bulls and the Niners. So how are we making money on this one?
Yeah. A 4.5 up to 6.5. Again, people are high on Buffalo, but I just don't see it. I mean, the MAC was a terrible conference this year. I'm going to take Charlotte here. 5 straight wins to end the year. Offense is humming. LeMay running back, runs the quarterback. He can hit you through the air. 800 yards on the ground, another 2,300 through the air. Again, first winning season for these guys. So they're pumped up. It's a bowl for them. They got to be feeling good about themselves. And Buffalo, listen, they're happy to be out of Buffalo in December. They're in the Bahamas. I just, when you get these smaller schools, you got to start looking at, where they're playing. I think CUSA, tougher, 5 straight wins, a lot of momentum coming in. And Buffalo, listen, good scoring defense in the MAC, number 1, 22-something points a game, 22.5. I get it. Good rushing attack. Same as our little Charlotte 49er team here. I think Charlotte's a little better. I'm going to take the big dog here. I know it's the money move is against me here, 4 to 6, but give me the 6.5. Give me the 6.5 points here with Charlotte.
Okay, you're going to take Charlotte plus 6.5, total 58 points. Let's move along to the next one. Now, these are a couple of colleges that you might know about. The SMU Mustangs versus the FAU, Florida Atlantic Owls. Boca Raton Bowl. SMU 10-2, 7-4-1 against the spread. This is a big Mustang attack, and a solid defense helped the Mustangs go 9-3 to the over. SMU has gone 1-22 though when visiting teams have winning records, so maybe their record is a little bit deceptive at 10-2. FAU Owls, well, it's the post-Lane Kiffin era, and I tell you what. He's a bit of a mercenary. No one really likes him all that much, so good riddance. Okay. They've gone under in 7 of the last 9 games at home. ranked 16th in college football for points per game, and they are the big favorites. Well, actually, they're not the big favorites. SMU are the. I have SMU as the favorites for this one. Is that what you have?
Yes.
Yeah, minus
That is
3.5.
SMU the favorite. Here, minus
55
the
points.
3 here. Yeah. On the road, FAU's home field, home dog for FAU. Listen, you mentioned the lane train heading to SEC country. You got Glenn
wake me up
Spencer.
when it's over. Wake
It
me
will
up
be
when...
in 4 years, and he'll be done in 4 years. He'll be somewhere else. That's his MO, right?
Just
He's
remember this.
4 years
Wake
in a
me
spot.
up when you go, because I'm not planning on going solo. Okay.
Are you a big fan? See, do you like the Last Christmas Swam song? You like,
no.
Last Christmas I gave you my heart. The very next day you gave it. All right. Anyway. Okay. So we got Willie Taggart's going to be the new guy in charge here, which he's looking to resurrect his career.
Now,
but Glenn
Mr.
Spencer
Taggart from Blazing Saddles?
He was where the white women
More
at?
beans, Mr. Taggart. No. Okay. Anyway, yes. Go ahead.
You couldn't even that movie can't even be shown today. People that'd be protested in the street.
No.
The cancel culture will be everywhere for that movie.
One of my favorite films of all time. But go ahead. Yes. The Taggart
Glenn
era.
Spencer takes over. Yeah, Glenn Spencer's defensive coordinator, first year DC there, so he'll be leading the charge. I don't even know if is he going to be kept on by Willie Taggart. I don't even know. This is a same bowl. These guys were in this bowl in 2017. Now they're here again. Are they excited to be here? Where's the motivation? This is things you got to look at. Where's the motivation for this team? No head coach. You're playing on your home field. You're not even a favorite. You got SMU. You mentioned them. Explosive offense. But, you said, 9-3 to the over. And yet the lines come down and open at like 72. Immediately drops down to 70 and a half. I'm going to go with the under here, believe it or not.
Okay.
Because I think SMU's going to put up the points, but I don't think we're going to get an interested FAU squad here. Again, home dog, your own field, bowl that you've already played at, new head coach coming in. Nah, I think SMU though, resurrected Sonny Dykes. He's got something to prove over there.
All right, we've got to move quick. Very last one. We've got some college basketball. Southern Miss at Texas Tech. Southern Miss 3-8, 3-5-1 against the spread. Boban Jack Domney is doubtful. That sounds like a character out of Star Wars. Texas Tech, though, 6-3,
Yes.
5-4 against the spread. Just snapped a 3-game losing streak by beating number 1 ranked Louisville. So tell me, Texas Tech, massive favorites, minus 23 and 130.5 points. You got about 30 seconds.
I had to write that guy's name down to sound it out. That guy just said, I'm not going to repeat it. So, yeah, 6-3, coming off 2 OT losses. They beat Louisville. This is what happens when you're playing a championship game. You're slow out the gate. I don't know. 52 straight wins versus non-conference opponents here at home. But I'm going to take the dog here. This is a big number. Texas Tech's obviously not themselves right now. This is a big number to lay when you're not really playing that well. So let's take the 22.5 here. Southern Miss. I know it's ugly. They're 3-8, but I'll take the big points.
Well, fair enough. It's probably listen, you can't go wrong. Higgy Smalls, thank you so much, Sean Higgs. You can find Sean's picks on the site, picksandparlays.net. And right now, any one of Sean's picks or any one of our other 34 cappers that are out there, you're going to get 15% off. But I recommend Higgs highly, by the way.
Yes.
Promo code GIFT, GIFT.
17-9 in my bowls last year, Nick. 17-9, 65% bowls last year.
Hot. All right, we'll be right back with Craig Trapp.
Later, buddy.
Yep.
So, Robbie, we're going to go 17 to 29, okay? You good? Okay, 17, 30 seconds, okay? 17 to 29. So nice and easy. Now with Andrew, we get out of here in 44 minutes, and then it takes him 7 minutes to finish all the editing. We got it down to a fine art form. Don't forget to run the record, okay? Okay. Welcome back to the show this December the 16th, National Tie Sports Day. Very exciting day for everyone around here at the Picks and Parlays family. We all get very excited, but nothing more exciting, though, than NFL football and well, actually, that's not true. For me personally, English Premier League more exciting, but right up there, certainly NFL football. And, of course, it's Monday. NFL opening lines are here, and we do have a Monday night football game to talk about. Joining me in the studio, El Guapo himself, my good friend, Craig Trapp from Picks and Parlays. Craig, ready to talk some Monday Night Football and some opening lines?
Yeah, Week 16 in NFL. Just 2 weeks left. A lot of teams cashed in and punched their ticket to the playoffs last week. A couple teams trying to do so this week, and we'll see that in the lines.
All right, well, let's start, shall we? Saturday games, we have Rams at Niners. I have Niners -6, total 46.5. What do you think of that line?
Well, we got 3 games on Saturday, which is kind of an unusual schedule this time of year, NFL. I think threw us a little bone here. So we got an early game, an afternoon game, and a late game. This Rams-49ers is the early game, and the 49ers favored by 6 here with a total of 46.5. Of course, the 49ers, even after a upset loss at the hand of the Falcons in Week 15, they still cashed in on first playoff berth in 5 years. So congratulations to the 49ers. Rams coming off, of course, the Super Bowl kind of hangover. Just been an up and down team all year. I'm surprised this line is where it is. I actually think 49ers, as long as this stays under the key number of 7, is a play for me in this Week 16.
All right, let's look to the Bills at the Patriots. The Patriots -6.5. We've got 38.5 points. A low-scoring game. Speak to me about this one.
Well, 2 really good defenses here. I mean, we've seen the Patriots, of course, won big in Cincinnati, only gave up 13 points after only being up 13-10 at half. It exploded the second half in a blowout win of my Bengals. Patriots continue, even on a down year offensively for this Patriots team, they continue to be one of the best defenses in the NFL. And the Bills aren't on a slouch either, so that's why this total is sitting in at 38.5. I wouldn't doubt if this total actually trends downward before opening kickoff here, but Patriots -6.5. Maybe a little worry here because this Bills team needs to continue to win if they're going to push for a wild card spot.
All right, next up we have the Texans at the Bucks. Texans are 1-point road favorites, and the total points on this one 53. Bucks just not very good though, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, I see some lines even out there, even the Bucks favored by 1, so you can get a couple different lines. I even see some pick'ems out there, but the more often consensus is this Houston Texans team at 1 here, and as like I said, this is going to be the evening game on Saturday evening. I think this Houston Texans team is a very solid team. Obviously, big win this past week at Tennessee. Of course, huge division matchup that was important win for the Texans. They have to follow it up here, but this Bucks team's been pretty good as well. They've faced 2 poor teams and took care of business, let's just say, but now they're 7-7, looking to finish the season strong, and I think Jameis Winston continues to avoid turnovers. This could be... You call Jameis, I'll call him Jameis.
I'm going to call him Jameis. You know why? Because I can, all right?
Well, this is an interesting matchup. Great game to watch. I think it's going to be a very tough betting matchup, so be careful in this one.
All right, next up on Sunday, we have the Saints at the Titans. New Orleans 2-point road favorites. A good team. There's no denying it. 51-point total on this one, Craig. I don't know. The Titans just a little bit all over the place.
Well, of course, the Saints are coming off of Monday Night Football. Titans coming off a tough home loss to the Texans, so Should be an interesting matchup. Since Tannehill's taken over, this Titans offense has looked a little better, but they're going to need to be a lot better. Even though they have a good defense, they're playing a Saints offense that's been putting up points in bunches this second half of the season. Thus, you see that total of 51. This is going to be a tough matchup for Tennessee Titans, but at least they get the Saints off of Monday Night Football on short rest.
All right, the Cowboys at Philly. The Cowboys 2.5-point road favorites. 48 points total on this one. Is it? I don't know. I mean, I don't think the Cowboys are that great, but what do you think?
Well, they look great this past week.
They did.
That's, sometimes you get the overreaction. Dallas is one of the bigger public teams we see out there. The Dallas Cowboys favored by 2.5 here. I even see some lines out there in the 2s. So if you're a Dallas fan, you might want to shop that around. But this Eagles team is one of those that has been huge disappointment since, of course, the Super Bowl run of championship of a couple years ago. Last year, had to make the late push to make the playoffs. I just don't see the spark with this Eagles team. Dallas, I think, gets this win. And if you're going to play the Cowboys, I'd jump on it before maybe this goes to that key number of 3.
All right. The Sunday Night Football, Chiefs, road favorites against Chicago. 5-point road favorites, 45 points in total. How do you see this one?
Oh, interesting. This Kansas City team, of course, went to Denver. Denver team that had just pulled off a nice home upset the week before. And then this Chiefs team was really, really good in the snow, nevertheless. So Patrick Mahomes actually historically has done very well in cold and snow. So this time of year, of course, at Chicago, you're going to probably get some cold weather here. But Trubisky, of course, he's had his ups and downs as for the Bears. I think you have to play the Chiefs if you're looking at the Sunday Night Football matchup. And maybe even the over here. This Bears defense isn't quite what it was last year. So I think I would lean to the over and the Chiefs. And I think this line's going to move. So make sure you get in on both of those.
You know why? Because he's the abominable snowman. Snowman. It's in there somewhere. All right, next up, Packers, Vikings. Vikings, home favorites, 4 points. 46-point total. Fire away.
Well, the Packers look really good. Well, so did the Vikings this past week. I think this will be an interesting division matchup. The Vikings finished with Green Bay and Chicago, so 2 division matchups. The Vikings, I think one of the better teams in football. If they were in any other division in the NFC, they would probably be near the top. But, of course, the Packers are the best team in the NFC right now as far as record is concerned. I like this Minnesota team, but I thought this line would be, in the 2s. For Minnesota being favored. So getting that over the key number of 3, and it's tough to not bet the Packers as the way they've been playing and the way they've been running the ball.
Oh, so he was the abominable Smahome man. That's it. You see? We get it. I knew it was in there somewhere. All right, let's talk Monday Night Football, shall we? Colts at Saints. The Colts 16-7, 5-6-2 against the spread. They lost 3 in a row most recently, 35-38 loss to the Bucs. 2-4 away. Total has gone over in 4 of the last 6, I think, for the Colts. The Saints 10-3, 8-5 against the spread, coming off a tight loss to the Niners. Saints defense without Marcus Davenport and Sheldon Rankins. Sounds like my accountant, by the way, Sheldon Rankins. But anyway, total has gone over in 4 of the last 5. They're playing the Colts at home. Saints, 8-point road favorites. Total 46. I believe this has shifted, actually. I believe this is now 8.5-point favorites for the Saints, and it's 44 now, 44 points, down a little bit. Yeah, which
is kind of surprising after, of course, the 49ers and Saints last week played that exciting, high-scoring matchup, and on a pretty good San Francisco defense. Indy's defense is good as well, but I thought this would actually go the other way. I thought the total would go higher. It went lower, so that's a little concern. But I definitely was leaning towards it over at 46. I'm still in love with it at 44. I'm not jumping off just because this team's going the opposite way. But I do think the Colts have a shot here. I think this is a tough spot, bounce-back spot for New Orleans. Of course, after you have one of those disappointing home losses, I just think it's not always easy to bounce back in the next game. I think Kobe Brissett, when he's been under center, this Colts team's been pretty good, played a lot of really close games. In fact, almost all their games are within 1 score. And so if you give me 8.5, I'd have to lean towards the Colts on the side, and I'd have to take a shot at this over, as I think this one's going to be an up-and-down matchup.
Up-and-down matchups. Colts, Saints, 8.5-point favorites at home, 44.5 points. All right, Craig, what do you have going on at Picks and Parlays?
Well, of course, last day of that promo code for Week 15. Use the promo code GIFT, GIFT, get you 15% off all day long. Of course, that's good for Monday Night Football or, of course, college basketball. And we're going to be having the bowl passes will be out tomorrow. Tuesday. It'll be out on Tuesday. So make sure if you're wanting in our bowl passes, we'll have those up for your favorite handicapper. Of course, Brian Bettler ended up being the #1 handicapper for college football this season. But
really? Oh, well done, Brian. We've had him on the show.
We've had him on late in the summer, but maybe we'll get him on for some of our bowl matchups that we're going to be talking about. So, but make sure if you're looking in for those expert bowl passes, check them out as of Tuesday morning.
So, Craig, look, we're going to be doing a few specials here. So check the website. If you're listening to us on the radio, the website is picksandparlays.net. We're going to be doing some betting specials. In other words, a little how-to 101 sort of stuff. Because oftentimes it's not who you bet on, it's how you bet.
Yeah.
That's so important. And a lot of people, everything from bankroll management to the right way to bet a parlay or any sorts of things like that, how to bet college bowl series. I mean,
Yes.
That's one of the things we're going to be doing a special here. So check it out because it's not just being educated with the best picks you can get from the top handicappers in the country. It's being able to lay those bets that are going to be the most profitable for you. And of course, risking the right amount of bankroll with each bet. I mean, I think bankroll management is as important as
Well, I mean, this time of year,
Yeah.
when you have all the sports that collide, you can get where you just have 50 bets a day. You're never going to make any money if you're out there betting all day, every day. You need to control what you're betting, make sure you're putting your money on the games that you like the most, not just because you're trying to get the most action out there. So we'll be giving some extra tips on especially college football bowl season because it's a really dangerous time because there's so many different teams that are, coaches movement, players that aren't playing, injuries and suspensions all come into effect with that long layoff that you have between the last game of the regular season and whenever the bowl season kicks off for them.
Yeah, and remember, look, bet with your head and not your heart. I mean, there's always fun about laying a bet for, your home team or the team you've been following. I very rarely bet on my club, Liverpool, because I can, all I ever see is wine and roses. And I know supporters of teams like Manchester United have been going through the ringer about this. So bet with your head. Doesn't matter whether it's Manchester United, Liverpool, the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Mavs, whoever it is, in whatever sport it is. Be smart, get educated, and we're here to help you do that, Picks and Parlays. Well, more specifically, I'm here to entertain you, but Craig and his handicappers, they're here to educate you. Definitely take advantage of it. Last day of the promo code. It is promo code GIFT, 15% off everything in the basket. And you want to load it up if you're going to make some bets. And as Craig said, bowl season coming up. Don't flush your money down the bowl. Get good picks, make smart bets, and we're going to help you do that. All right, when we come back, speaking of smart bets and smart people, El Tigre will join me. Tony Tellez, we're going to hear him roar. He is Tigre. Hear him roar, and he will do that right after the break. Thank you, Craig. All right, welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays, here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. We're here with you every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time and 1 p.m. on the left coast. But we do stream live throughout the day on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We would love to hear from you. Hope you will participate. Make this your show and tell us what you think and how you feel. All right. I promised you some NBA because NBA is hot, getting hotter. We've got some really awesome teams right now in the NBA. Everybody, for example, from the Lakers to the Bucks. These records are fantastic, by the way. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's bring in our expert handicapper, Tony T. El Tigre joins me. Tony, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Looking forward to NBA this week. And of course, I want to ask you a question there, Nick. We know what your thoughts here about the NBA scrapping the London games. They're going to move them to Paris in 2020. We just saw some international action from Mexico this week, but no London in 2020. We're going to Paris.
Well, think it's actually really good, and I'll tell you why. Because the NBA, of all the American sports out there, the NBA is the one that I think has the best chance of really getting out there and becoming huge. First of all, basketball's already popular in Europe, but it's such a fast-paced game, there's stoppages in play and there's some tactical stoppages, but the ball is in movement all the time. That's the problem with American football. The ball, I think, over an entire game's in movement for about 6 minutes, and Europeans just aren't accustomed to that. But basketball, very high-paced, very fast-paced game, speaks right to what the Europeans like in their sports products. I think it will do really huge, and I think moving it from London to Paris is a really good idea. Can only grow the league, and I think for that, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too. We saw what it's done in Spain, and of course in some of the Soviet, in Russia, we saw it in Slovakia. A lot of good players there as well. So looking forward to in Italy as well. We're getting they're all over. Yeah,
I mean, amongst others, right? I mean, lots of great European players coming into the league, and it's just the more it can propagate, the better it is. Tony, let's get to it, shall we? Mavs at Bucks. Why don't we start with that? The Dallas Mavericks against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Mavericks. This is actually, of all the games we're doing, this is probably going to be the most hotly contested one. The Mavs 17-8, 15-10 against the spread, coming off a 118-122 loss to the Miami Heat. 9-2 straight up and against the spread away from home, though. 11-3 against the spread in the last 14 games. Luka Doncic is out. Speaking of Euros, there's one for you. The Bucks, what a record, 24-3. I think right now that is the best record in the NBA, actually. I think that's better than the Lakers' record right now because I think there's a game differential between them. 15-12, what are they? 15-12 against the spread. Bucks 13-1 straight up, 8-6 against the spread at home. Eric Bledsoe ruled out indefinitely. Total's gone over in 4 of the last 6 for the Bucks. They are big favorites at home, 10.5-point favorites, 227. Do you think that's really kind of underestimating the Mavs?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why here. I think the injury to Doncic is huge. He's out for 2 weeks, could be longer with that ankle sprain. Now, remember, Doncic was an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
People thought he was going to be MVP this year. At first they said it was going to be a couple weeks. Now I heard it could be weeks, maybe even longer. So that's some disappointing news for all of the NBA.
I think it's indefinite, right?
Doncic.
Doncic is out indefinitely. That's what I read.
Yep, indefinitely. There's no return date. They will just have to, those ankle sprains. You just got to see how they respond to treatments, and we'll see how. Hopefully, he's young, so hopefully it can heal fast. But
two perfectly good ankles, so one's down. Use the other one.
Yeah, he's up in his 20-year-old young guy, so you should be able to bounce back from this. But today's NBA, today's world, Nick, they want to make sure he doesn't get hurt any worse than he is.
Yeah, of course.
He can't play hurt anymore.
Right. All right.
I'm gonna
go ahead.
I'm gonna look to go under a total of 227. Doncic is a huge factor here because he was averaging 29 points a game. He made 48% of his shots. He was the highest volume shooter for the team. Now the next two highest volume shooters, another Euro player, Kristaps Porzingis, but he only hits 39% from the field. Tim Hardaway, 43%. Dallas plays at a slow pace, 20th in the NBA, and now without Doncic, they may start to get slower. I know they have a defensive-minded coach. Maybe they'll pull the reins in and focus more on defense. The past 5 games, the Mavs are holding teams to 43% shooting, and the Bucks are a very good defensive team at 40%. So you limit the possessions here, and I think you have an under here, under 227. No Doncic. Dallas is going to have to really work hard to get points in this one.
All right, let's move along, shall we? Spurs at Rockets. The Spurs 10-15, 6-18-1 against the spread, coming off a 121-1. By the way, you like these William Shatnerian pauses I'm putting in here? It's for added dramatic effect. They're coming off a 121-119 loss to the Suns. They're 3-8 straight up, 3-7-1 against the spread away from home. Total has gone over in 4 of the last 5 for the Spurs. This is not a great team. And the Rockets, though, 17-9, they are on a bit of a roll. 12-14 against the spread, coming off a 107-115 loss, though, to the Pistons. 9-4 straight up, 6-7 against the spread at home. Tyson Chandler is doubtful, but Russell Westbrook is probable. You can trade one for the other. It's up to you. The under in 4 of the last 6 for the Rockets, and they are big home favorites. 10 points it is, with a total of 231.5.
Yeah, Westbrook was rested for Saturday. That's why the Houston Rockets suffered that defeat. But Westbrook should play. When they say probable, you're pretty much going to play. I'm going to take this one over the total of 231.5. The Spurs, not a very good defensive team, especially on the road. Now we look over their games here. 117 points or greater in 4 of their past 5 games, including that game against Houston earlier in the month where they combined for 268 points. Rockets form good offensively, 47% shooting, 37% from 3, but again, they fall asleep at the perimeter, allowing opponents 38% from beyond the arc. But when you look at the Rockets, number 2 in the NBA efficiency ratings, 115 points per 100 possession. They play at the 5th fastest pace. But one thing to note here about the Spurs, a very bad defensive team on the road, 172 points allowed, over 48% shooting, 38% from beyond the arc. Now, they shoot the ball well on the road, but they're always, looks to me that they're coming from behind because they lose a lot on the road. But I think here against Houston, I noticed one thing about Houston, Nick, is when they face off against bad defensive teams, they really feast on them. I like an over total here of 231.5.
So you like the over of 231.5. Should be a big scoring game and could be a fun one. Boy, the Spurs are pretty awful, aren't they?
Yeah, it's really sad to see Popovich's team here. Aldrich was not the right guy, but they're stuck to his contract, and they have to try to rebuild this team. But there's no tanking with Popovich now. Maybe in his younger years, but they don't seem to be in that role anymore of throwing games. There's no Duncan anymore. Robinson, all those players from the past. Ginobili's gone. Tony Parker's gone. So they're trying to make things work over there. DeRozan trade just didn't work out for them. They lost Kawhi Leonard, and they're just trying to rebuild the team.
Yeah, and it's tough to rebuild the team with all the salary cap restrictions on and trade restrictions that they have now in the NBA. I mean, they've designed the NBA so that you can't really build these super teams anymore. It can be done, but it requires almost like chess. You've got to think 5 or 6 moves ahead of you. Look how long it's taken the Lakers to assemble a winning team. It's taken them nigh on a decade at this point, Tony. And
that's a good point. And the commissioner, what he's trying to do now, he's trying to extend the draft more picks, maybe 5 or 6 rounds, because then you can actually get some college players and pretty much provide some inventory for your developmental league and develop some NBA stars. So that's what the NBA is trying to do. Now, remember, they only have 2 rounds in the draft. Maybe go to 5 or 6 rounds, grab some college stars and try to develop them in your minor league system.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. NBA never short of excitement for me. I think it's a great league. I really enjoy it. Let's go next. Bulls, Thunder, 2 sub-500 teams here. The Bulls 10-18. 14-14 against the spread, coming off an unlikely win over the Clippers, 109-106. They're 4-8 straight up and 6-6 against the spread away from home. Chandler Hutchison is a question mark for this game. These two, by the way, split the last 10, 5-5. So, it's a coin flip in that regards. Oklahoma City, they're 11-14, 16-9 against the spread. Talk about another team that's, coming across slightly more difficult times. Lost the last 2 in a row. Most recently, that 102-110 loss to the Nuggets. They're 6-10 straight up, 8-8 against the spread at home. A total has gone under in 13 of the last 20 versus the Bulls. I got Oklahoma home favorites, 5.5 points, 207 total.
Yeah, I'm going to take the points here, 5. Now, you can actually find some 6s out there. I like the Bulls here at plus the 6. You can find 6 out there. They've covered their past 5 as an underdog. They've covered 7 of their past 9 after beating the Clippers. Yeah, the Clippers did not have a couple of key players. Kawhi Leonard and also Lou Williams were out, but still, their defense has been outstanding in the past 5 games, holding teams to 40% shooting, 30% from 3. And OKC, they've struggled with their outside shooting, just 32% from the 3-point line. Of course, OKC plays their first home game after a 4-game road trip, so those tend to be a flat spot. They dropped 2 straight with a 1-point defeat to Sacramento, then by 8 at Denver. But the Bulls have been competitive. You look at some of their recent losses by 1 point at home to Toronto, 5 at Miami in overtime, by 1 at Portland. I think Chicago here can play a little closer. They have had some shooting woes, so they have to listen to the coach now and play defense. Their defense has improved. I'll take the Bulls here at plus the 6.
All right, Bulls plus 6 it is. Let's move along. The Cavs, again, we're dealing with a lot of teams looking back at, like Al Bundy in Married with Children, looking back at their formative years when they were high school stars. A lot of these teams looking back to their glory years too. The Cavs 6-20, 10-14-2 against the spread. They're 1-9 in the last 10. Most recently got thumped 108-125 by the Bucks. 3-10 straight up, 5-7 against the spread away from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Total has gone over the last 6 games when they play Toronto. And for the Raptors, 17-8. 14-11. Hey, by the way, a champion at least, kind of still in the mix. Let's put it that way. 14-11 against the spread. Had a win over Saturday over the Nets, 110-102. 10-3 straight up, 9-4 against the spread at home. Fred VanVleet unlikely to play. They've gone under in 4 of the last 5. And we have Raptors, again, big home favorites. 12-point favorites at home. Total 216.5. Does that total seem low to you?
Yeah, the total does, but you got to look at this Cleveland Cavaliers. John Beeline. He's been a college basketball coach, but at age 66, he decides to leave college for the NBA. And at first we thought it might work, but now it just doesn't look like it's working for him. We're going to go ahead and take Toronto here at -12.5, and then here's why. Look at the Cavaliers. They've lost 15 of their past 17 games, but look at some of these road losses. Oh my goodness, ugly games. Losing to Milwaukee by 17. Boston by 22, Philadelphia by 47, Dallas by 42, Miami by 23, and they lost at the Knicks by 18. Ooh. That's just horrific here.
How do you lose to the Knicks? I mean, the Knicks are the Knicks are a dumpster fire.
Well, they're a big Cavs are a bigger dumpster fire. That's really all you can pretty much say. They're 2 dumpster fires. Outhouse.
The only thing more that's scarier than a dumpster fire would be, I don't know, a fire in a porta potty that you're stuck in there with the door locked. I mean, if that's not a nightmare scenario, I don't know what is.
Yeah, especially up in the mountains over 10,000 feet. Those are some of the worst you'll ever see. But yes, I will definitely tell you that's probably the worst dumpster porta potty fire you'll ever see. But that's the Cavs right now. They're just a total mess. They may blow up the team. Tristan Thompson is up to the coach. They want to move Kevin Love. It just looks ugly right now in Cleveland. And John Beeline, pretty sad to see a pretty good head coach in college go through this. But hey, he wrote, this is what he wanted. Okay, this is what you get in the NBA sometimes. You come in, you're a 66-year-old guy. Now you're trying the NBA for the first time. Good luck, my friend. Good luck. I'll go ahead and take Toronto, lay the points.
Yeah, that's equals 6-20. All right, Tony T, always a pleasure. We'll speak to you this week.
Always.
You can find Tony's picks.
Very good.
Picksandparlays.net, one of our best handicappers out there. Check him out. And while you're about it, load up your cart with all that expert pick goodness that we have in there, and you get 15% off. Promo code GIFT. Because we're feeling in a giving mood. Generosity rules the day here at Picks and Parlays this holiday season. All right, when we come back, I'm going to recap all the picks just in case you missed any of them. And I promise not to talk about dumpster fires in a porta potty. I know it is a pretty nasty thought. Be right back after this. Welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays. We gave out a lot of free picks today. By the way, I'm Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter at Nick Geber, Nickgeber. We gave out a lot of picks today, a lot of free picks for you. Because if you're betting, you want to bet with the best intelligence you can get. And we're going to give it to you at Picks and Parlays. You don't have to sleep with us under your pillow either. You can just listen to this show. Get all the information you need to be an educated, smart, and wiser sports bettor, and hopefully a more profitable one. All right, here's what we had today. We had expert handicappers on. Let's start. We start with Sean Higgy Smalls Higgs. Little college basketball and a college football bowl game. 2 of them, actually. We started with, wow, that wasn't Southern Miss at Texas Tech. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's spelled Texas Tech, but still the same thing. Take Southern Miss plus 22.5. SMU versus Florida Atlantic University. The Owls take the under 70.5. And one of those was, which one was that one? That's the Boca Raton Bowl, I believe. Yes, very exciting stuff. Lastly, Buffalo, Charlotte. Take Charlotte plus 6.5. Next up, we didn't have NBA picks from Chip Chirimbes, so let's not do that. There, we had Tony T, NBA picks. I don't think, was Chip Chirimbes here? If he was moving at the speed of light, because I didn't see him, but Tony was on. Bulls at Thunder, take Chicago Bulls plus 6. Spurs at Rockets, take the over 231.5, and the Mavs at Bucks, take the under 227. That's going to wrap the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Join us every day. That would be Monday through Friday, weekends excluded. We're here with you on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. You think I'd get this after all this amount of time. And we do stream live throughout the day, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find us there. If you missed any of this show, you'll find replays there and on our podcast network, the Believe Podcast Network, BLEAV. All right, folks, enjoy the games. Bet wisely, bet well, and as always, remember, bet, win, repeat.